When I first started working on the proposal for Fearless Writing, the book Fearless Writing, I had to come up with the premise, the overview of the book, the sort of central idea of what it was all based around to help the publisher understand what it was about and what I would be offering readers. And that central idea, when I first started working on the proposal, was that you had to love your story unconditionally. And that's just how I phrased it. And when I showed this to my agent I was working with at the time, she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is a terrible idea. It doesn't make any sense. You have to change it. Now, she was wrong. It's a great idea, and it's still true, and I still talk about it to this day with students in workshops. But I understood she was thinking about the term unconditional love as applied specifically for how one person feels about another person. I get it. And so I changed the premise slightly so that the writer's number one fear is that what other people think of their stuff is more important than what they think of their stuff. And so that became the foundation for the book, and away we went. And that's as if you've listened to this podcast, watched this podcast, you know that is the foundation for a lot of fearless writing. However, I still believe in the idea that you need to have unconditional love for your story, meaning you love it just because you love it, not because someone else loves it, not because it has a good readership, not because you think it'll make you famous, not because you think it'll make you money. You love the story because you love the story. And having a conditional relationship to something uh, is pretty common, I think, for humans, particularly the future. Bear with me here. The future is where we believe most often that how we will feel, whether we will be happy or sad, scared or calm, whether we'll be wealthy or poor, is based on conditions. What happens? What happens? I think I mentioned earlier I had a little cancer scare a couple of years ago. I found a mole. It turned out to be melanoma. It wasn't a big deal in the end, but I spent a little while kind of dealing with the future as a kind of inhospitable place. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? How will I feel if I have to do therapy, do immunotherapy? How will I feel if I get sicker and sicker? All this kind of how will conditions in the future affect how will I feel given how conditions are? And yet when we create, creation is unconditional, meaning the only thing that changes how you feel about a story is whether you like it or not, whether you're interested or not. And when you're creating, whether it's hot outside or cold outside, regardless who's president, and in a way, regardless of whether you're sick or well, your entire experience of creation is just your focus, the sentence you're writing at that time, how you feel about it, whether you like it or don't like it, just the next sentence, the next sentence, the next sentence. The only condition that matters when you're creating is your focus, the sentence, the idea you're focused on. And either that sentence or that idea pleases you or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, you find another one. That's all that matters, what you're focused on. And yet, our idea of the future, and I have been a slave to this, God knows, off and on. Our ideas of the future, our fear of the future is basically a view that a time will come where our focus isn't the most important thing, isn't the most determining factor for how we feel, but what's simply happening around us, whether we sell the book or not, whether we get married or not, whether we're rich or poor. And that's like putting yourself in prison because writing teaches you what it is to be free. Your focus determines how you feel and nothing else. Your focus determines your power. Your focus determines your creativity. And you have complete control over that. You can choose what to focus on. You can choose whether to follow an idea or not. You can choose whether to put a sentence in your story or not, or whether to delete it. But if it's conditions that determine how we feel, not our focus, then we're not free. Let creativity teach you the reality of life. I'm constantly having to remind myself, you're free, and creating teaches you that. It's not the conditions. It's not what's going to happen. Your focus is right here, right now. What it takes to write one sentence now is what it will take to write one sentence 1,000 years from now. It'll never change. It's true. It's true, people. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hit subscribe if you like it. And remember, if you like it, also say so. Hit the like button. I love to hear from you. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.